Hi, everybody. The voice of fragrance here with Carlos from Brooklyn Fragrance Lover.
Hello, everyone.
Here enjoying all his fragrances and his hospitality in New York City and Brooklyn, of course. Just want to let people get to know Carlos a little bit better.
Sounds good.
And Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. So, when did you start posting videos?
I started 5 years ago. I just recently, on September 13th, reached my 5-year anniversary of my first video.
Excellent.
Which was Tom Ford Private Blends Patchouli Absolute.
Oh.
Absolute.
And that's... No, amber or patchouli? Is that
patchouli? Did I say amber?
No. But which one is your favorite? Like one of your favorites?
Amber.
Okay.
Amber Absolute.
I got to smell it because I haven't smelled that in a long time, and you always talk about that, and I know I liked it before. What was the impetus for you to get into reviewing? What was the reason?
Well, I've always been a fan of fragrance since I was a little boy, and I was also involved in the theater and music, so I've kind of always been kind of a performer type.
Artistic
and I didn't make it in those fields, and when I discovered YouTube reviewers, I was like, I could do this probably. I tried, and it was successful, I think, to a certain degree. I may not be for everyone, but I have a bit of a following.
Who were some of the first ones you remember watching?
Hero.
Oh, yeah.
Fragrance Bros, and Steven.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. What were some of your early childhood fragrance memories, like your family members or even you getting bottles yourself or something?
Well, high school was definitely Halston Z14.
Oh, really?
A lot of us wore it, and it was just kind of like our smell, and everyone loved it. And what I really remember vividly is smelling Fracas, Robert Piguet, on women, and always being like, what is that smell? You smell amazing. And this is going back when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I would smell on different people, and I always just loved it. I have a bottle, but I don't wear it. I think it's just more for memory.
Right.
But it doesn't smell the way I remember on me. Another vivid, fond memory is being an altar boy. So.
Oh, yeah. I was an altar boy too. Yeah. Yeah, I always loved that. That was one of my favorite parts when we would do incense in church and the censer, because I love that scent. That's probably why I really like Sahara Noir and everything.
Love that one too.
Yeah. Any memories from your mother? Like, did she wear fragrance?
I remember what fragrances she wore, some of them, but not how they smell. I don't think she was an oversprayer. So back in the day, it was Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
L'air du temps.
Oh, yeah.
And recently, she's 75. She likes Coco Mademoiselle a lot.
Oh, okay.
And she seems to be very drawn to patchouli. Oh. Like she in her mouth, patchouli, but her Spanish accent. But she loves to smell patchouli for some reason. Another fond memory. Speaking of patchouli, actually, when I was 16, I was in a theater company, professional theater company. And a bunch of us were thrown out. There was a scandal. There was some robbery. We didn't know who it was. So, like, half the company got fired. Not fired. Let go because we weren't paid. But anyway, we formed our own theater company. We used to sing out in the streets to raise money in Greenwich Village. Our parents produced it. And we actually ran an off-Broadway show for a month. And one of the first songs that I wrote for that musical, I wrote the score, was a song called Come With Us, and I worked on it with my friend Lauren, whose mother, rest in peace, she just recently passed. She was a rock artist. Her name was Annie Flood. The house smelled of incense and patchouli. And I remember writing that song, and I could still smell it the way her apartment smelled. As a matter of fact, when her mother passed and she went to clear her apartment, it was on 33rd Street, you could still smell like incense, and
everything was like permeated.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
So. Hey, Jean made a cameo.
Actually, they kicked her a little bit.
Oh, don't kick my cat. Him.
Are you one of those people that will track someone down the street if you smell?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand people.
No shame whatsoever.
Yeah. Why would people? I would never ask a dude, what they're wearing. I said, why?
That's ridiculous.
Or even worse than that, the people that refuse to tell someone else what they're wearing.
I've had people say, "Oh, I forgot the name." Come on.
So when you started out, what equipment did you use, and how have you upgraded since?
Well, lights and microphones. Finally,
yeah,
it's something that was added to the arsenal.
I think microphone is probably one of the most useful things for young reviewers to start out with, and get a good mic and not use the one that's on there.
But if you drink or smoke pot or whatever it is that you indulge in, remember to put the mic back on after you take it up. I forgot to plug in Aisha's video yesterday. We're fussing with, don't touch the mic, it makes a terrible noise, and I never plugged it in. Stunad.
So what are some of your favorite fragrance notes that you really look for in a fragrance?
Sandalwood, patchouli, violet, vanilla and benzoin mixed together, especially. Labdanum, frankincense.
So the deeper resinous.
But, I have moods. Like, just because I love something, like, profusely, doesn't mean I'll wear it all the time.
Oh, yeah, no, you can't.
I have to be in the mood for it. Sometimes a great fragrance is just too much for that particular mood or, aura that you're giving off that day. I get tired. I like to change it up. I can't wear the same thing anymore like I did when I was younger. When I would never in my life ever thought of wearing fracas or wearing a woman's fragrance. No. This is not what we do here. But when I discovered all the fragrance groups on Facebook and my world changed, and I got to experience so many more fragrances that I had overlooked from years ago that I could have rocked. Like, seriously?
He's knocking down fragrances. So, what is the first fragrance that you remember owning as a young adult or in high school? Or
I bought CK1 but hated it.
Oh, really?
But then I got CKB and I wore that for many years. Youp was in the arsenal. Of course, like I said before, the Holsten Z14.
Oh, yeah.
But in the 90s, I wore something for many, many years, went through a lot of bottles. Like, I actually had a signature scent. It was called Holsten Catalyst. It came in like a test tube.
Okay, yeah.
It's discontinued now. I don't think it's in release anymore. But I wore that for many years. And I got it at Saks Fifth Avenue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What was the first so-called niche or high-end fragrance you remember buying?
My first niche owned or smell or purchased was Creed Virgin Island Water.
Okay.
The description on the website, I think it was Neiman Marcus or something, I don't remember. First of all, I just discovered Bergdorf and Barney's and all those higher end stores for fragrance only when I started getting into it myself, being a blogger of good smells and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I only knew Macy's fragrance. I would have 10 fragrances, but they were all designer.
Right.
Niche. It was a whole new world. One of my first... So, I didn't like that bottle. I wore it on the 4th of July, and it just wore off so quickly. Virgin Island Water.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But one of my first was L'air du Desert Marracan.
Oh,
Marracan, Maricon. Marracan. I don't think I've reviewed that fragrance because I hate the way I say that.
It is close to Maricon. Now, but how did you find out about it? Is that
reading in the groups? People were talking. There were people like me who had 12 bottles and were obsessed. Like, when I would read about a fragrance, I would not rest until I went and got my nose on it. Even if I didn't buy it, I just had to smell it.
Did you go and do a lot of research online, like Base Notes and those places?
I never was a Base Notes person.
So it was mainly the Facebook groups then?
Facebook, huge. And some blogs, but Now Smell This was one of my favorite blogs.
Oh, yeah.
But when I entered the blogosphere, not everyone was so nice. There was some real characters out there.
Yeah, it's sad, but that's...
And there still are.
Oh, yeah.
Trust you me. I always say, and it's a little nasty, but sorry, I'm from New York. We can be a little shitty sometimes. I'm going to write a book about behind the scenes of all the nonsense and shit that I've gone through.
Yeah. It's not warranted. It's not needed.
And the first one to say it's only scented water is the first one to start trouble. So, whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's not just that. I mean, if it was just scented water, we wouldn't be in 14 fragrance groups and, like, following all these, reviewers and everything. It's something we're passionate about. Unfortunately, people take that passion too far and down the wrong road. And it's
I've met some of the most nasty and virtually inhuman people in Fracon.
Yeah.
And I'm from New York, Brooklyn, New York. You know what I'm saying? I've been through stuff in my life. I've met some, like, it's just crazy.
But conversely, you also get to meet some really nice people too.
Steven's for life now. You know. You,
thank you.
Of course. I was going to say.
Hell, took it that long.
Sorry, my bad. What's worse is when you were friends and then then it goes sour and then things start happening.
Yeah.
I don't. Steven is one to not talk about. I'm sorry, I don't mean to blow up your spot. He's one to not talk about it. I kind of dwell on stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and he keeps his head up and he keeps going, and I respect him for that very much. And he's helped me deal with all the extra noise, that goes on at times. And it comes in phases. I think it's like Mercury retrograde. Like, okay, this is the month where everybody's going to go for each other's throats. And
Right. It does go in cycles. But yeah, I agree. Steven is a better man than me because I see how he handles that stuff, and I can't.
Like me, I'm in. Like I told you, okay, stop. We don't want to see the nasty side of Carlos.
We're gonna move on from that.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite houses?
Tom Ford, obviously. I love Killian. I love Lalabo. I love Roche Dove. I love so many houses. Zoologist is brilliant. I love Buffon de Marley. I love Nemo. I love Sergeoff. It's endless. I can appreciate the finer fragrance, and I can appreciate a silly blogger fragrance like it's called Glossier.
Oh yeah.
She's a blogger and she put out a fragrance. She started as a makeup tutorial person.
Oh yeah. I did hear that. Yeah.
She's pretty famous from what I hear.
So what method do you use when you want to review a fragrance on your own? Mm-hmm. Do you write stuff down? Do you take notes? You just go off the cuff?
The notes are a start. I have to wear the fragrance. I work with a lot of people, especially women, so testing out fragrances is a great thing at my job because I get a lot of different opinions. But I don't always go that route. There are fragrances that I love that they hate at work, so I wear the fragrance and I see how long it lasts, and I see how it evolves on skin or doesn't evolve. Linear is good sometimes as well. I was going to say before that I have my moods. I like a great citrus, but I like a great floral just as much. It's moods. But I have to wear you have to wear the fragrance and kind of bond with it for a little while.
And for me,
that doesn't mean I have to wear it for a month and a half now.
Right.
But a few days, a week.
Honestly, there have been fragrances where I've worn 1 or 2 times, and I know what the fragrance is about. Mm-hmm. I don't have to sit with it for months. But then there are fragrances that I have to wear for a long time because I don't know how to express what they're telling me.
Some fragrances stump you.
Yeah.
Our job is to be able to say the words that the viewers can actually smell the fragrance.
Right.
Because
there's no way to convey a smell. Yeah. You wear your fragrances to work. Mm-hmm. Has that ever gotten you in trouble?
It has. You watch the videos now. That was cute. That was smooth, brother. So, one time we had one of the managers was this nice girl, one that I would gladly have on my channel, but anyway, she made several comments here that, that's strong. What's that? But that it wasn't, what's that? It smells so good. It was like, ew, what is that? More like, she would make comments on occasion, wow, or like, woo, or strong. They were negative connotations. I took them as anyway. And one day, my manager, which is my boss's son, he runs the business now, had a talk with me in the morning that somebody was complaining about my scents were too strong. It was by the house, The Gate.
Oh yeah, I love The Gate.
Oriental Diamond was the fragrance. I remember clearly. And so I said, "Who's complaining? Co-workers?" Because I know most of the girls know that's my thing. They'll go out of their way to tell me what they think of a fragrance,
right?
But not her. And so I said, "Is it a co-worker or is it a customer?" She said both. But I have had people complain. "Oh, what does that smell?" I've oversprayed some fragrances where customers are complaining.
Yeah.
"Oh, what does that smell?" Oh, people are so dramatic.
I've made mistakes too where I'm trying a new fragrance out and I'll be like, "Oh, I can't smell that. Let me add some more to that." And I was like, "Oh crap, I'm gonna kill people with this thing." What's the Tom Ford Noir de Noir?
Yeah,
I almost killed people in a car with that stuff. I felt bad. They were kind enough to not be like, "Oh no, it's terrible." It's like I smelled like B. Arthur in her grave, covered by 14 million roses.
That's awesome.
And have there been times where you've been on the street and people have asked you what you're wearing without knowing who you are?
Yeah, and let me tell you, you were my Facebook friend, so you know that I post these encounters often. There was this one particular situation where I was waiting for the train on the way home because I respray on the way home, so my fragrance is fresh when I'm on my journey home. I sat down on a 3-seater bench. It was me, this woman, and then another woman. So the woman here asked her, "What are you wearing? It smells so good." Oh, she goes, "I'm not wearing anything." I said, "I think it might be me." And she goes in, she smells, "Oh, it is you. That smells so good." They always assume it's the woman, right?
Yeah. And like going back when you said you were younger, I wouldn't wear a women's fragrance. I'm sure you have quite a few now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Black Orchid in my top 5.
And we put too much emphasis in America, I think, on men's fragrance, women's fragrances. There really is no line. Wear what do you always say? Wear what you love, not what they tell you to love. Yeah, and it's so much easier that way. I have several fragrances that are made for women, but no one would ever know.
Now, to expand on that a little bit, there are some fragrances where I don't feel comfortable wearing them.
Sure.
Because they are indeed, like, I'm not a demure little gardenia, So it's just it doesn't feel, it's not a fit for my personality.
Right. And that goes for masculine fragrances too. I mean, there are some fragrances that are made for men. It's like, that's not really me either.
Like one of my favorite things when I'm trying to describe a fragrance is a hairy-chested fragrance.
But yeah, I mean, it's interesting how we try to classify things a little bit too much, and we can get that, and that can get in our way of our enjoyment.
And isn't it ironic that like the most active people in Fracom are men? A good friend of mine told me, I won't say who you are, but say less than you know and show more than you have, or show less than you have, something like that.
But okay,
like I don't do my videos in front of my collection to show off my collection. It just makes for a good background for the subject at hand,
and it's easier just to grab them like
yeah,
as opposed to running across the room.
But I can't tell you countless times I'll hear somebody just mention, "I want to smell that." Okay, what's your address? I'll send you a little bit. I've done that random acts of kindness plenty of times. And for the most part in Fracom, I've found a lot of generous people.
Oh yeah, it's a great community as a whole. There are some rotten apples, but there's going to be,
like with anything, there's always there's always the good and the bad of everything.
What discontinued fragrance would you love to have in your?
You did it. I knew there was going to be one deer in a headlight moment. Here it is.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea.
I think I would probably. Well, luckily, Gucci Pour Homme 1 would have been always my answer.
That was my church fragrance.
Oh,
I always wore that to church.
Yeah, yeah.
Every Sunday Mass, I would wear Gucci Peron.
And
one. Was it one, or was it just Gucci Peron?
It was just called Gucci,
okay.
But now, when they came out with
and I got rid of it like an idiot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then Gucci Peron 2 is good, but nowhere near as good as 1.
And completely different.
Yeah. Night and day, virtually.
What about a fragrance that's out there now that you don't have? What's on your to-buy list?
I try to keep up with my designer releases.
Mm-hmm.
And I typically buy whatever comes out. You know, from the usual suspects. Hugo Boss. Valentino. Tom Ford. Dior.
Where is your like favorite place to shop in New York?
My favorite place now at the moment is department store wise is Saks Fifth Avenue, because they just you have to go visit it before you go home.
Yeah.
It's the mega perfume spot. It's the newest. It's the most modern.
Oh, really?
They have everything. From Dior to Gucci to Tom Ford to Mimo Paris, Mike Hillian. Wow. They have everything, and it's a whole entire floor.
Is that new?
Yeah, it was built in the last year or two.
Oh, no kidding!
Yeah.
Interesting.
It used to be on the ground level.
Yeah,
which is where I purchased my Holston Catalyst.
Oh.
And it's a whole second level now. It's a beauty level.
So, what are fragrances you don't like?
Fragrances I don't like? I don't like Horos. I'm not a Civet fan. I am not a fan of very sharp cedar. I prefer smoother, creamier sandalwoods and cedars. I don't like civet. I really don't like civet. I don't like... Not much. That's really the one that sticks out.
But is it all animalics you don't like, or just civet?
I'm not a big animalic fan at all. I'm not a fan of overly animalic fragrances. A touch, an underlying pinch of it, or a dash, I like to say, a brushstroke. But if it's like an outright fucking barnyard, I don't like that.
Yeah. Those can be really challenging.
I had a problem with that.
I
don't want to say it. With Koros, let's say.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own channel at this point?
I would say to be your best self. Be yourself. Don't be a contrived character. Don't be Mr. YouTube guy. Just be yourself. Be honest. And the audience will grow and you'll get a following organically. I'm not a fan of contrived characters. Yeah, although I know a few, but it's not my thing.
Yeah.
So that's how I'd like to wiggle my way out of that one.
Well, all right. Well, little bit of Q&A with Carlos.
You got it, brother.
Thank you very much. So thanks for watching. I'm sure you know this guy, but I will link him down below in the description, which is useless. But I will. If they're on my channel, they know who you are.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. All right. All right, so we're going to have a few bloopers from this, I think. But thank you so much. And I will talk to you soon, and check him out, too.
Take care. This was fun. My first official interview. Well, not really. I've had a few.
Police?
I haven't had a few today.
Police interview?
Just once. I was arrested once, and it wasn't my fault. It wasn't. It was somebody else. It was back in the days of tokens. My friend jumped the turnstile. I put my token in, but we were together waiting for the train. So the cop took both of us.
Yeah. 3, 2. So, what are some of your favorite? That was great. Do it again.
Blooper. I don't know why he chose to tell me that, but
I'm leaving that in.
No, you got. I will kill you. I will fucking kill you.
What about?
Oh, damn!
I gotta say goodbye for real.